Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And today I'm going to show you how to make the card I'm making for my husband for his birthday. His birthday is tomorrow. You guys won't see this video for till October, the first part of October, but his birthday is in September. So I'm going to show you my sample. I gotta stand up because I can't see if you guys can see this. So it is an easel card. With soft suede. I did trees and stuff back here. It's got a lot of layers on it. I love making him a card. It's what I do every year. So we're not using this deer or these because they're not Stampin' Ups, but I had to make a sample one. So we're going to work with what we have. And so let's get started. Let me tell you what you will need to make this particular card and what we are using. So first of all, we have this little deer, which I cannot see the camera, it's so hard. This little deer from Grassy Grove cut out with the die cut in soft suede. I'm using some of the craft paper. This is 4 1/4 by 5, used with the Aspen dies. So it's kind of the feature point of this whole card is those dies. Then I have 3 pieces of Very Vanilla. The first is 4 1/4 by 5, and I die cut it with the trees. I'm going to set that aside. This next one is 4 1/16 by 5, and let me get down here. I know you guys can't see it. 5 3/16. This is for our watercolory background we're doing. This little piece is 3 3/4 by 5. This is for the inside of our card. So what else do we have? We have a 1-inch strip by, I have my measurements here, 1 inch by 4 1/4 for the tree branch, which we stamped from the stamp set, Perched in a Tree. We're using this, and we're using both of these in our card, and we're going to be You Are Every Bit of Wonderful and Happy Birthday from Celebrating You. So, and then I have a stitched rectangle for the sentiment You Are Every Bit of Wonderful. And it is the second, if you're going from the center one out, it is the second die there of the stitched rectangle dies. And I have all of that done. Now I have these 2 little bits from the stitched rectangle, the same size as the other one. And cut those out, just a little bits of them, because we might use it, may not. Now our colors, I'm going to show you the colors we're going to be using. We're going to be using Old Olive, So Saffron, Pumpkin Pie, Soft Suede, and Gray Granite. You're going to need a spritzer, the water painters, the thick brushed one here, and a thin brush. And we are going to start, before we do anything, we are going to start with our paper, coloring our paper. So let me get, it's kind of messy, so here we go. And I'm going to bring the camera down so I can see somewhat, so you can see also what I am doing. So I have just 2 paper towels lying here, and making sure I don't get the smaller of my Very Vanilla. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to start in the center with So Saffron. And you can see my ink's already there. I'm going to add some more. You can squeeze your pad. And I added crushed curry, I'll be honest, because I didn't get the color I wanted. But we're going to try this time first with the So Saffron. First, we are going to spritz our paper, where we're going to, this is Very Vanilla because it's nice and warm today. Hopefully it will dry. So I'm also going to squeeze my water painter, get some water here, mix it around. And I am not overly concerned with, it just spreads it. When you put the water on the paper, it helps to move the water better. And this is working out really well on this very vanilla. I use some very, very old, like 20 plus years old, confetti cream on my sample because I was just trying things out. And I'm going to show you. I put some water on my very old Stampin' Scrub, and I kind of like that to clean my brush off. So that's what I'm doing there. And I need to clean my brush because I only have one. I really like that. So I'm going to lightly close that. Now I'm going to move on to the Old Olive, which, like I said, you can. This is an old pad. You can squeeze or you can drop ink. I'm showing you both ways. So we are going to drop, squeeze on our brush, getting some water there, and we are adding, picking up, oh, I forgot to spritz. That's why it's not going the way I was spreading. Yeah, I'm gonna unscrew it. Let's get some here. You can see it flows much better. Okay, that's good. And now I'm gonna wipe some off. We're gonna come back to this when it's dry. We're gonna do our pumpkin pie next. So let's spritz up at the top. And hopefully I'm still in camera there. And I am just gonna squeeze this pad too, because it doesn't, believe it or not, it doesn't take a whole lot. I'm gonna clean this off again on my very old scrubby here. And I'm going to squeeze and get a drop going down into this. Pick up that. Then I'm going to start right there and just brush across the paper. I am not, there's really like hardly any, there's no technique. You just pick it up and you smack it on there, okay? Really, really easy here. And we're going to add more color to it with the stamps. I'm going to stamp on top of this, but I wanted to get that out of the way. Okay, I'm cleaning off my brush. And I'm going to stick it back in its lid. And I'm going to set this over to the side to dry. Now we're going to work on our other stuff. So let's see. Let's work on our card base. Now I used to not be a fan of using the scoring on your scoring cardstock for a card base, but I am telling you, I love this cutter, trimmer, whatever you want to call it. This is awesome. For the scoring on this is so easy, and your card looks so much better. So for our card base, our easel card, we are going to score at 5.5, which is half of the card. And then we are going to score again at 2, I forget now what it is. It's halfway point. 2.5 and 2.5 is 5. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. 2 and 5 eighths. And that is our very simple easel. Let's go ahead and do our creasing it with the bone folder. So I just creased it inwards. This one I'm bringing it up. And that is going to form my easel for this card. Here is the layering piece for the inside of the card, like so. And I'm going to show you how I did this. I used the stamps from the Perched in a Tree. I used this splotchy one, And I'm going to add this. I didn't do that on the inside of the card, but we're going to do this just a little bit better. So I'm going to open up this piece of paper I used yesterday. And I don't need the Stampin' Pierce mat because these are red rubber. They have that foam in there. It's really nice. So I'm going to start off with the soft suede. And this card, I do a lot of cleaning, okay, of my stamps because I use this stamp over and over and over. And you can see all my little splotchy images here on this piece that I stamp off onto because I stamp off a lot. Stamp off. I'm going to add a little here. And without stamping again, I'm going to add a little here. And without stamping again, I'm going to add a little up there. So just this time I'm doing, this is the top, this is the bottom. So now I have to clean this off. So I'm going to get my, and I'm using that paper towel to dry it off here. So there's our soft suede, which I should have used a little bit on my branch here that I die cut. We can't forget that, but we'll do that in a minute. We're going to do our green. I'm going to move that, pick up our green, stamp off, and now I'm going to go on top of this image, but bring it farther in. I'm going to turn it. So there we have it. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to stamp right on top of that. Like I said, bringing it farther in. And I'm going to do that again. And I am going to use, I'm going to go onto my branch here a couple of times with the green. I'm just adding color to this. I'm just adding layers of color. So clean it off again. Okay, I'm going to set the green aside because I still need it open because we've got more work to do with it. But I'm doing one piece at a time here. Well, two pieces with the little branch because that just needs a little bit. So next we're doing that gorgeous pumpkin pie for fall. Stamping off twice, and then I'm going to come in a bit here. I'm going to come in a bit here. There. Right there. And right here. And then I'm going to bring in my branch. Can't forget about it. I'm going to add a little orange on there to that pumpkin pie. Clean it off again because I don't have 2 or 3 to stamp in the, you know, the ink pad at different colors because I'm using the same one. Layering up all these colors. Here we go with the So Saffron now. We want to do that last. Bring back our piece for the inside. Now the So Saffron, yeah, we're still stamping off. I'm going to bring that in. That in. And I'm not re-inking it. I'm just adding ink to it. I mean, I'm not adding any more ink. I'm just using what ink is on the pad. So we're going to do it. Clean it off again. Yes, we are. And then we are going to work. You can see this is nicely done. And our branch is going to go right about here. And we are going to stamp our happy birthday right down here. And that one I stamped in the soft suede. So let's do that now. So actually, I got this little halo going on there. That's okay. It's not going to bother me any. I'm not going to let it bother me. Let's put it this way. So I'm stamping happy birthday. Ta-da! And that is all good. So I'm going to scrub that off, set that aside. And I'm not closing up any of my ink pads. I am setting these 2 pieces off to the side though for the moment. And we are going to bring in our Very Vanilla cardstock here with the aspen trees that have die cut on it. And we are going to add some color to this. So this is where I need the gray granite, and I need that blotchy image for soft suede. And I'm going to use this to block, first, let me move this over here. Okay. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I am going to stamp several times on top of these trees. Just adding a little bit of color, and you get so much. Now I did, to get up those top areas, I just used this to block out where I might get over. On them. So I think that is actually really, really good. I'm surprised that worked that well. First time. Now I'm going to bring in the gray granite, and we're going to stamp off a couple of times with this color, because I just want little hints of this gray on top. And it has that little bit of, I want a little bit more right here. So I'm going to stamp off twice. Yes. Okay. I am good. So that simply is all I did there on those trees. I didn't do anything to the craft. I didn't do anything to it, but we are using this as a stencil. Next, let me clean this off real quick. So on our card base, I'm going to move that aside. Okay. Right up in this area where when you pull it back, or where we have trimmed, I wanted you to see tree-like stuff. So you can use a sponge dauber, whatever you like. I happen to just be using this old sponge. And, oh, I got to turn it over. You can see I used it on the other one. So here we go. We are going to bring this in like so. Soft suede on soft suede. So I'm going to scoot it. You can see the little bit of tree images. Let's get it lined up in there again, because this down here didn't take well. And it's forgiving. It just is giving a little bit more of the illusion of trees. So I'm going to scoot it over now some, or rather up. I'm going to go up this time. Get some of these long lines in there. And I am going to do these. Tall trees in there. Not that, I want right there. Then I'm going to bring these branches in like so. It doesn't look like much there, but you can see a little bit of the forest. Maybe I should add. Nope, I'm not gonna go pushing it. So I just wanted that little bit, so when you cut around these, that you have something back there on that card. So next, let me check our, it's getting there, it's almost dry. So next we have to add our color in and around here, and how we're going to do that is just like we did the inside with this splotchy little image. And we are going to start with the soft suede, and I need my paper. Then I'm going to stamp off a couple of times. I'm just bringing a little bit in here on the bottom. Yep, even though I'm going to be cutting that off, I just realized I don't know why I went far that down. But this is how I did it. So let's go next with the old olive. So stamp off because I just want it light. Boy, that is not light. Let's go this way. We're going to turn this. I'm not re-inking it. I am just using the ink that's still on the pad. I'm going to clean it off again. Move on to my next color, which is the pumpkin pie. Gonna stamp off, okay, maybe a couple of times, and I'm gonna bring that over there. I have to leave some room for the So Saffron here to come in. Cleaning it off. Then it's going to be time for the So Saffron. So stamp off and bring that in a little bit more. I'm going to turn it this way. Yes. Okay. I'm going to bring some up there. Okay. Now for, that was this splotchy. I love this. I just had a great time. Now I'm going to bring this in with the soft suede. I just want to add some of these dots. Maybe just stamp off once. I want a little bit more. Stamp off. Stamp off as you stamp. Then you get to stamp twice. Stamp off. Stamp. Stamp off. And I'm just going around the paper. And believe it or not, we are going to cut a lot of this off. Add some little dots to the trees just because I can, and it's fun to do that. So let's see. Now we are going to bring in, I can close up all of these. And I'm going to show you how I stamp the You Are Every Bit of Wonderful. Let me get this little guy cleaned off. All right. So those two have been used. Let's see. We don't need the old olive anymore. We don't need the gray granite. We are going to stamp You Are Every Bit of Wonderful because I wanted you guys to see that. So here's my little rectangle I have. Don't need that color. And my husband is every bit of wonderful. So I just stamped it onto, I did it just like this. I didn't stamp and then die cut. I stamped. There you have it. And it is a just gorgeous stamp. So now I have two. So I can set that aside with the inside of our card. We are going to need soft suede again. But what we are going to do now is layer these together because I want them offset. I'll show you my card. I want them offset. And you get that trees in the background, and I like the craft. I wish they would bring that back full time, but it's a 6x6 square. I'll show you. It's in the mini catalog, 6x6. We used to have this a long time ago. So now we're going to glue these two together. Bring in my Tombow, and I don't need to do any more. Let's see here. Tap, tap, tap. So I just need to, if I can get it started. There has got to be a goober deep in there. So there it comes out. So I'm just going around the outside. And I don't want to put any in here because I have to insert the deer. But I am going to put some here. Bit here. Up here. Oh no, I put this on. No, okay. Next up, I'm like, I know I put dimensionals back here, but that's once I get it all together. So I'm good. Okay, so now we are going to lay this overlapping which way we want it. And I'm going to go bring it down just like that. So it's good to go. Now the fun part, if you will. I'm going to take some water and I'm going to actually make me a little puddle right here with my fine tip painter marker, and I am going to go roughly around the edge of this, and I'm going to add quite a bit of water to go through, so when I tear it, it tears nicely. And I'm letting it soak in there. Okay, now we can try. So I'm going to start over here where it started to seep through. And it helps to, you know, paper that has been wet paper tears easier than non-wet paper. This should have soaked in more. I really need to add some. You can also just blend all that color in there with this. Let's grab some more. And then get some on the back. So I can really tear it. Please start tearing with, I don't know why it's not wanting to tear. Water, water, water. I'm going to give it a start. There we go. Get this going. Let me just layer that water up on there. Really getting that wet so I can tear it easily. You might think, oh my gosh, she's going to ruin it. I'm not, I promise you. I tear paper like this a lot. There we go. Plus, I like the way it gives a look of the color. So, keeping them together. Just working them. There we go. Now I'm keeping this straight here, okay? I'm not going to tear that. But so much better when it has time to soak in. Works much better. Okay. Just have to get that torn. And then we're going to sponge around it, even while it's still a bit damp. And I like that. It's just up here that needs, this little top piece here needs to come off. Needs to be torn all the way around. And it just is being difficult. So I'm going to soak it in some more water, front and back. And then it should tear much better for me. Let's start from this end. Maybe it'll work that way. Yes. It just doesn't like tearing from that direction, I guess. So here we go. Yes, all of that we tore off. And I'm going to wipe my desk down, get all that water off. Put the cap back on my water painter. And then I'm going to bring in that sponge. And while it's still damp, I am going to sponge the soft suede around the edge. I used to love to sponge everything when I first started stamping. If I could sponge it, I sponged it. The envelope, you name it, I sponged it. As a matter of fact, let's get an envelope and do that right now. All right, so I need a very vanilla envelope because that's what I used. Here we go. We're going to do some sponging. We might even stamp on it. I hadn't thought about the envelope yet, but I used to love doing this. Just gives it a little bit more. I love it. Okay, and what do we have to stamp on it? I'm not going to do the birthday. I think we'll do this. I wish sometimes there was something prettier to go on this card, but this is my husband's card. Very outdoorsy. Where is my long skinny one? Well, this is not the... Oh, I have the other stamp on it. I was like, you are every bit as wonderful. That's the one I was looking for the branch. Okay, since it's such a long one, I'm bringing the stamp to the stamp pad, the ink pad, to the stamp. And we're going to be stamping off. We're going to make our own tree. I think we're going to make it a tree, not a branch. There's 1, 2, 3 on the side. We can do another tree here. Making our own forest there on the side of our paper. I like it. Cleaning it off so I can put it away in a minute. And it's time to assemble stuff. So we're going to close this up for now. I did die cut some leaves I want to show you. Okay, this is that confetti cream, which I used on my sample card. This is very vanilla. I have some very vanilla leaves. These are the Aspen tree dies. These is in craft. We may or may not use those. Have to wait and see what we I'll show you something I tried. I tried happy birthday on the leaf, but it has this embossing in it and it broke up the wording and I didn't like that. So there's my envelope. We need this, and we need you see how we're getting that sunset, the grass and everything on here. We're going to stamp on this, believe it or not. We are, and I need to open up those ink pads. We need this image here. We need that pumpkin pie. And we need our old olive and our So Saffron. We are going to start at the bottom with the old olive. This just deepens the color a bit. So I'm going to turn this sideways. So we're going to stamp, stamp. I really like this effect on top of it. I can't tell you why I do, but I really like it. And just added. So next we're just going to go to the next color. That's So Saffron. And we are stamping off. I'm going to start here, go up. It's just adding texture to our water colored image we did. Add some more there. Okay, I'm going to clean it off, and we're going to go with that pumpkin pie next, which is right here. We're going to stamp off, stamp, and I can see well, probably won't need to, but I'm going to bring this one down. All right. And trust me, when it gets behind those trees, you just notice that there's more texture back there. And that's what I was going for by doing that. And I really like the effect. You may just like the watercolor, that's just fine. So you see this? You just get a little bit of that texturing on the paper. So now we are going to put this up on dimensionals. That's what I thought when I put it on the craft. I was like, wait a minute. So I am going to use some of the, I forget what these are called, but I'm going to cut a bit in these strips. So like I said, I don't want to put anything down here right away because I have my deer to put in. So I'm gonna go here. I'm just sticking them around this. These are just bigger, and I have so many, such a large image to cover. It just works better. I don't use these a whole lot, but I use them for projects like this. When you have these large images that need coverage. Let's see, this one needs, oops. And I like cutting them up. I keep it cut and put it in my, we're going to put one there. Not any on that one because of my deer. Let's see, one here. One up there. And this one needs to be cut. And piece it around here. So we're going to have one on that side. One here, and I need a little bit more. I'm going to cut some more up. Love these. So there we go. We have all of our, I'm sticking my deer in there, so that's why there is none there. Now we got to get all these backings off. Yeah. That's the hard part. Easy part was sticking it all down. There's so many. Now you got to get all this stuff off. And I know this video is going longer, and I know some of you might just fast forward to the end. Sorry that it's taking over 30 minutes, but this is a very, very detailed card. I love making my family cards for their birthday. Sometimes I buy a bundle or suite just to make one card. Then I got to think of, okay, what else can I do with it? But I see something, Grassy Grove, for instance. I bought all of that set, the suite, just to make my son his birthday card. And I did. So I'm bringing this all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to set it right on top there. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to cut. I don't need to necessarily tear it, but I just am cutting around it, underneath that craft, so none of the edge shows. And this wonderful little egg shape, there we have it. And we have a lot of depth in there. And here is our wee little deer. I told you I didn't want to glue those two together because I kind of like sticking their body, like so. So that is roughly where she's going to go, but I need my sentiment. You are every bit of wonderful is coming down here. So she is actually going to be raised up even more. So let's get this piece down. And do I put on dimension? No. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue here. And I forget that I put ink on this one, so let's wipe that off because it needs to give me a second. I forgot to ink this one up, so we're going to have to repeat our pattern real quick. So we're going to have to start with some of this Old Olive, really, really light. So 1, 2, maybe 3. Nope, that was too much. Just a little bit of green there, and here, and a quick scrub-a-dub-dub. And we're going to add some saffron to it. And then we'll add the pumpkin pie. So this is saffron. I'm overlapping it. And now I'm going to clean it off again and do pumpkin pie. Let me move these out of the way. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this pumpkin pie in little bits around this. Yes. Okay, I will clean that off in a minute. Let's get on with, now we can add the glue again. So our glue there, and I want this right at the bottom. Yes. And I told you we had these little bits that were of craft, and I wasn't sure if I'm going to use them because I thought I could add the leaves. These are kind of big, but I thought they might look good like so. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so we're going to add some glue right there and right there. We are going to add that like so. And I don't need, we can share some of that glue to the back side. It doesn't need that much. I like that. Now for our deer, we are going to need a dimensional. Or we could just use maybe one of these dimensional strips here. Not sure. Let's cut one down. So I'm going to stick it roughly behind her head and behind her body here. I guess I could pull her out. We can stick her back in there. Okay, just there, the neck and the head. That's all it's going to be needed. Yeah, don't want that in my card. So here we go. We're going to get the deer's legs out. That is going to be what is sticking. Oh, so cool. Love it. I absolutely love this card. Just love it. Okay, so our card base. You can see why I wanted that little bit of shadow there. Now, it's important that you only put glue on this bottom half or it's not going to come apart for this. So, I know we have this egg shape like this. So, we're going to put glue here. Kind of like a doorway almost, upside down. And I'm going to fold her down. And I am going to stand it up this way using the bottom of my Every Bit of Wonderful to line it up. There it is. It's going to be great. So we're going to put in what we already stamped for the inside of this card, and we're so close to being finished. So there we have it. Now our tree, we're going to use these on it also. So let's get this one, because this is the stopping mechanism for our something buzzing around. I really do want some more in there, so let's get a little bit right there. And the branch now, which is a branch or a fallen tree in the woods, easily done. Trees fall over in the woods all the time. And which way did I put it? Okay, I put it this way, but this time I'm going to go that way. So we want it right here above the happy birthday, so it stops the card. And you could have done it farther up to make it stand farther up, but I like it just like that. And I think it's a beautiful, very male themed card for my husband for his birthday. And you could add, let's see what we have. We could add some stuff to this. So we have the faux sea glass. As I lose some stuff out of my drawer, I think we are going to use these little green ones. They could be like little pebbles, little rocks. Let's see. We have these from a paper pumpkin. I don't want those. I would like it to stay open so I could pull it out. So we are going to use some of these. Just going to grab my handy dandy needle. We're going to put a little one there. I'm going to add one. Let's see, I'm going to add one here. Oops, that's my grandson's bus. I know somebody has got to be out there. Might add one up here. Am I getting it too carried away with these? Maybe. There. But I haven't yet to use them for anything, so I mean, why not? I'm going to put one up there, and then let's see. Yes. Or they could be like falling leaves, actually. They could be that too. So we're going to do happy birthday there. And another one there. And I'm going to do a whole little riverbed down here at the bottom. He's worth it. Just going to add some, just a little border. Yes, I'm getting carried away with them. So, but I can. I absolutely love this card. I'm going to stick a little teeny tiny one. This is the most I've used of all of them this whole time. I'm going to scoot it over a bit. And that one needs a little scooting. Oh, so cool. Very, very beautiful card for my husband. There you have it. It is an easel card. It will be great for his birthday tomorrow. So thank you for watching. I do apologize it went so long, but I hope you enjoyed this card. It is very detailed, but it's one of those that's a one-of-a-kind card. Here is my envelope to go with it. And I hope you have a great day out there in YouTube land, and you come visit me in my Wonderland again. Bye-bye now.